Hello everyone. Today we will study about lymphatic drainage of breast. So it is of great importance because carcinoma of the breast spreads mostly along the lymphatics to the regional lymph node. Now we will see where are the lymph nodes present around the breast. So let's draw all the lymph nodes present. So this one is the central axillary lymph node. This one is the lateral axillary lymph node. This one is the posterior axillary lymph node. So these three group of lymph nodes are known as axillary lymph nodes. So we will label them. This is central axillary. This whole group is known as axillary lymph node. So this is first one, central axillary. This is second one. It is lateral axillary. And this is third one, that is posterior axillary lymph node. So these three lymph node forms axillary lymph node. Now comes the anterior thoracic nodes which lie along the internal memory vessel. So anterior thoracic lymph node will lie somewhere here. Okay. So it lie along the internal memory vessels. So this is the internal of the memory gland. So it lies here. This is known as anterior thoracic node. Anterior thoracic node. Now third group is known as some limbs of breast reach the supraclavicular nodes. So where is the supraclavicular node? Supra means above and clavicular means clavicle. So above the clavicle is the supraclavicular node. This is the supraclavicular node. See, from diagram only we can learn all the nodes of breast. Then there is posterior intercostal nodes. Posterior intercostal nodes lie somewhere here. So these are posterior intercostal lymph nodes. This was the anterior thoracic. And two more are present, that is subdiaphragmatic and subperitoneal lymph node. So subdiaphragmatic will lie here, somewhere here. So this is the diaphragm. So it lies subdiaphragmatic here, and subperitoneal lymph node plexus lies somewhere here. So this is subperitoneal lymph node, and this is subdiaphragmatic lymph node. So the breast is surrounded by these many lymph nodes. Now one is left, that is anterior axillary lymph node. It lies somewhere here. This was anterior axillary lying near the axilla lymph node. So these are the group of lymph nodes surrounding the breast. Now how we can learn them easily? See, First there is group of axillary lymph nodes, which are first is central, second is lateral. By the location also you can see that this is lateral and this is posterior. So this group of axillary lymph node, and this also, that is anterior axillary lymph node. Now the node present above the clavicle is supraclavicular node. Now there is posterior intercostal nodes and anterior thoracic node. Anterior thoracic nodes lying along the internal memory vessel. So here is the internal memory vessel, here it lies the anterior thoracic node. And one node also is there, that is here, it is the apex. So it is apical lymph node. Apical lymph node. One group of lymph node is also there. These are anterior thoracic nodes. See, these two are same. This one and this one. Okay. Don't confuse between them. Now we will see lymphatic vessels and drainage of lymph. So there are two types of lymphatics present in the breast. That is, first is superficial lymphatics that drain the skin over the breast except areola and nipples. So as the name suggests, superficial, so it drains only skin over the breast. And second is the deep lymphatics, which drain the parenchyma. What is parenchyma? Parenchyma is nothing but the mammary gland of breast and nipples and areola. Now we will see that which lymph node drain how much percent of lymph from the breast. So 75% is drained from breast into axillary lymph node. Axillary lymph node. So 75% is drained from breast into axillary lymph node. This was the maximum. Now second comes 20% is drained into anterior thoracic nodes, and 5%, remaining 5% drained into posterior intercostal nodes. So now we will see the route of drainage of lymph. So first, from breast the lymph is transferred to the axillary nodes, that is anterior and posterior group of axillary nodes. Now which is posterior and anterior group? This is anterior and this is posterior. So first lymph is transferred from breast to anterior lymph and posterior. Now from here they will pass to the central and lateral. So passes to the lateral and central, and through them they pass to the apical group. Now from these two the lymph passes to the apical group. This was the apical group, and finally from apical group it passes to the supraclavicular lymph node. So this was one part of the breast draining the lymph to the supraclavicular node. So you can see how the lymph is drained from the breast to the supraclavicular lymph node. Now the anterior thoracic nodes. Now these were the anterior thoracic lymph nodes. Now these drain the lymph not only from the inner half. That means they not only drain from this part but also from the outer half as well. Means they also drain from the outer half of the breast. and a plexus of lymph vessel is present deep to the areola. So this was a areola. So a plexus is present. Plexus of lymph vessels is present deep to the areola, that is known as subareolar plexus of Seppi. This is an important point, that subareolar plexus of Seppi is present deep to the areola. So from here they will drain to anterior and pectoral group of nodes. See, from here they drain to anterior lymph node and pectoral. Pectoral lymph node was this. Drain from these two parts. Now we will see the lymphatics from the lower and inner quadrant of the breast. From the lower and inner. So this is lower inner quadrant of the breast. We have seen that we have divided breast into four parts. So this is the lower and inner quadrant of the breast, which communicate to the subdiaphragmatic and subperitoneal lymph plexus. So this was subperitoneal and this was subdiaphragmatic lymph plexus. And one more important point, anterior and central group of nodes. The nodes which are present centrally and anteriorly are commonly involved in carcinoma of breast. So which was the anterior and central group? This was the anterior and this was the central lymph node. So these two lymph nodes of the breast are involved in carcinoma of breast. Okay, so these two are involved in carcinoma breast. Now the point that we have studied, that 75% is drained from the breast to axillary lymph node. So axillary lymph node means axillary lymph node is a group of 4 lymph nodes, that is central, anterior, lateral and posterior. So this node drain up to 75%. Now second, what was that? 20% drained to anterior thoracic. So 20% is drained by anterior thoracic. Okay, and the last 5% from posterior intercostal, and 5% is drained from posterior intercostal lymph node. Now we can understand them by drawing a flowchart. Like first, this is breast. From here to anterior axillary lymph node and posterior axillary lymph node. Then from here they drain to central and lateral lymph nodes, and these central and lateral combine and they are drained to apical lymph node, and finally this apical lymph node is drained into supraclavicular lymph node. This was one part of the drainage. Now another part, that is internal and outer quadrant, are drained to anterior thoracic lymph node. So we can see that inner and outer quadrant drain to anterior thoracic lymph node. Okay, and the lower inner quadrant drains to subdiaphragmatic lymph node plexus and subperitoneal plexus. So this part was 75%. This part was draining 25%. and remaining 5% was the posterior intercostal lymph node. So hope you understand the lymph nodes and lymphatic drainage of the breast, and with the help of diagrams it has become easy to understand the pathway of lymph drainage of breast. Please like, share and subscribe the channel so that you can get more such videos in anatomy, so that anatomy becomes very easy for you. Thank you.